Good evening. I'm Dr. Fred Rouse, the Real Money Doctor, and it's currently just a couple minutes before 7 o'clock on Wednesday, July 29th. And I wanted to touch base on today's daily events that affect the way you get, protect, and enjoy your money, your life, and your retirement. Now, the question for today is, did you really survive the infamous Hump Day? I'll get to that in just a few minutes. As we touch base on the COVID situation, because again, that's the main thing that's been happening, that's been affecting everything for the last 7 months right now. 7 months in the US and a little bit longer across the rest of the world. But here we are right now. Current COVID cases are at 4,398,898,000 cases. 4,398,000 cases. Okay, that's up another 68,000 cases from yesterday. Okay. The numbers are getting staggering at this point in time. Now, of the total number of cases, only 30% have actually recovered. So if you've been diagnosed with COVID, right now there's a 30% chance that you've actually recovered. However, if you've also been diagnosed with COVID, there's a 3% chance that you're actually going to die. And that's what the numbers are showing right now as of today. Now, the deaths right now, for the first time in the U.S., have topped 150,000 people right now have died. That's more people than in World War I. Okay. All the time of World War I. Okay. We didn't lose that many people. Basically, 6 months. We've lost 150,000 people in the U.S. right now. Okay. That's up basically 1,245 people have died just overnight since we spoke last. Now, California has been the number 2 spot for the actually number 1 spot for about a week and a half, 2 weeks now. And their total cases were 473,785 cases. They're up 10,000 cases. 10,000 cases since yesterday. Their deaths right now total for the state are at 8,724 people. That's up 176 people have died in California from COVID since yesterday at this time. Florida's got the number 2 spot, and California and Florida have been hitting the news big time with their numbers. Big time. New York has dropped to number 3. Texas is at number 4 right now. New Jersey is at number 5. Again, these are states with the highest number of cases diagnosed so far to date. Illinois is at number 6. Georgia's at 7. Arizona, not having a good time, number 8. North Carolina moved up from number 10 to number 9. Okay, things are happening in North Carolina also. Massachusetts rounds out the top 10. Now, without a doubt, the U.S. is definitely a trendsetter in the world. And today, California has once again broken a new record for the most coronavirus cases, the deaths, in a single day. With 167 deaths reported on Tuesday, it's the 3rd time this month that California has broken a single day record for deaths, and the 2nd time in just a week. The previous single day record was set on July 22, with 158 people died that day. Now, since it was first documented, COVID-19 deaths in February, there have been 8,716 Californians who have died after a coronavirus infection. That's nearly 3 times the death toll resulting from the great 1906 San Francisco earthquake that killed more than 3,000 people. Just to put things in perspective, the daily average of coronavirus case related deaths over the previous 7 days has never been higher, but now it's 118. Okay, well, much has been said about California's death toll rising far less than other states like New York, but they had 32,645 people who died. Other nations have had far less than California, but the cumulative coronavirus related death toll in Japan is only about 1,000. South Korea, only about 300. Australia, 167 in the entire country there. New Zealand, 22. Taiwan, 7. Japan and South Korea each have populations greater than that of California. Now, across the U.S., more than 150,000 people have already died. Okay, no other country has a worse death toll. No other country. Nationally, the U.S. has seen, an average of about 65,000 cases a day, more than double the rate in mid-June. By various measures, the COVID pandemic is now worse in many areas of California than it was, the week leading up to Memorial Day. The San Joaquin Valley, okay, it's an 8-county region in Central Valley, stretching from Stockholm to Bakersfield, is one of the reasons where the pandemic conditions have really deteriorated dramatically. In a week-long period that ended on Memorial Day, 42 residents of the San Joaquin Valley died from coronavirus in just a 7-day period that ended on Monday. 105 people have died right now. Deaths are also on the upswing in 7 counties in the Sacramento region. Over the same period, weekly deaths rose from 4 to 25. The 9-county San Francisco Bay Area has seen its weekly death toll nearly triple in the same time period, from 20 to 57. San Diego County's weekly death toll has doubled over the same period of time, from 28 to 55. The 5-county Southern California area, which includes LA, Orange, Riverside, San Bernardino, and Ventura counties, has also seen weekly deaths increase from 357 to 493 in the same time period, an increase of 38%. While there are some people in the state who have called COVID a hoax, there are clear signs that the pandemic is indeed the worst global public health crisis in more than a century. People aren't getting the hang of this thing just yet. The daily number of healthcare workers reported to be infected with COVID is also on the rise. As of Tuesday, there was an average of 310 healthcare workers getting infected with the coronavirus daily over the previous weeks in California, a number that has more than doubled since Memorial Day. The total right now of 119 healthcare workers in California have died after being diagnosed with COVID. Officials have confirmed that more than 22,000 healthcare workers have also been infected. Florida, they reopened and they reported over 200 coronavirus deaths on Wednesday, the most of any state since May. Florida has again set coronavirus death record, posting a sobering new record high a second straight day, as deaths in the state have now reached levels that haven't been seen anywhere in the U.S. since the spring coronavirus surge back in the Northeast. Florida right now reported 216 coronavirus deaths on Wednesday, breaking the record of 186 set Tuesday, and continuing to reverse what had been really a trend of declines. This is the first time any state has reported over 200 deaths in one day. Pennsylvania did so back in May 21. Florida is the first state outside of the Northeast to reach such a high. Florida isn't alone in having death spikes to record highs. California, Arkansas also posted new records. Statistics last week over the weekend showed that Florida may have turned the corner in its battle against corona spread, but essentially all the major metrics for detecting increased spread are going in the wrong direction again. Now, as the death toll escalates, coronavirus hotspots, evidence is really growing that young people who work outside the home, who surge into bars and restaurants when the states relax their shutdowns, are infecting their more vulnerable elders, especially family members. Frontline caregivers, elected officials, and experts in Houston, South Florida, and everywhere else are seeing the same pattern of hospitalizations and deaths, that confirm the fears that this was going to happen, that were first raised back in May and June. That was when Florida, Texas, Arizona, California, and other states reopened in an effort to really revive their economies. The emerging trend, though, highlights the difficulty in relying on President Trump's administration's strategy of sheltering the most vulnerable while letting the young and healthy return to work and school. That approach just runs the risk of transmitting the virus when 2 or 3 generations share the same home, and when many lower income workers have little choice but to brave the exposure to do their jobs. Young adults right now are among essential workers who may be returning home to parents and grandparents. High school and college age kids may end up exposing teachers and parents and grandparents. Sooner or later, the doctor said, most older people and those with underlying health problems will mix with the younger generation at some point in time. A record 64 million people, about 20% of the US population, lives in homes with at least 2 adult generations, where grandparents and grandchildren under the age of 25. Okay. That was in 2016, according to the analysis by the Pew Center. Now, a Florida woman who shared a story about her family contracting COVID on Facebook on July 9. She recounted how she believes her 21-year-old stepson spread the virus to the family after going out with friends. The father, 42-year-old John Place, spent 18 days on a ventilator before doctors were able to wean him off the device nearly 2 weeks ago. But Place of Plantation, Florida, is still seriously ill, hospitalized, and still suffering the debilitating effects of COVID. And Mom said, I pleaded with him every day. I was that maniac. Wear your mask, hand sanitizer, social distance. Our younger adults need to understand that you don't live in a bubble. That's what she said. You have to think about everybody else in the community. You can't just think about yourself. Now, on the money side of things, Senate Republicans outlined their view of the next stimulus package that they call the HEALS Act, which includes a second stimulus check of about $1,200 for qualifying individuals and substantially reduced unemployment benefits, for the extension. Right now, no one really knows what the final bill is going to be like, because right now the Republican Senate is still not exactly settled on what they've already just introduced. Once they do get settled on it, though, they still need to negotiate that with the House and the HERO Act that the House passed well over a dozen weeks ago. Today, the Dow was up 160 points, and it closed at basically 26,500. Again, it's just bouncing in a range for now until there's some clear direction from the COVID situation. It's really, really simple. If you want to open the economy, everyone just needs to wear a mask and social distance. If everyone did just that, the country would be close to back to normal in just a matter of months. Now, right now, more and more people are infected with COVID. And as it reaches into areas where the non-believers live, more people will soon know someone that has gotten COVID. As that happens, it will become exceptionally obvious that real science from mainstream doctors and researchers were right all along. And as their mother, father, sister, brother, or child gets COVID, they'll come to realize that they've been lied to. Not by the mainstream media, but by the politicians and the politics of the entire situation. The ideology that they believe in. The fringe fanatics that drink the Kool-Aid and wear the tinfoil hats. They'll come to that realization. Which really brings me to the question of the day. Did you survive the infamous Hump Day? It's Wednesday. It's the infamous Hump Day. Hundreds of thousands of workers, all over America, have been waiting for this day every week for their entire working lives. They're working at jobs they don't like, with people they'd rather not work for wages that are totally insufficient for their needs. They're at these jobs hoping just to get by with the idea that someday they'll be able to retire and live their retirement dreams. Well, by the time they're 50, they realize that they're not only midway through the work week, but they're also midway through their lives. They don't have enough money to ever retire, And the retirement dream that they once had is now quickly becoming a retirement nightmare as they contemplate needing to work well into their 70s and beyond just to survive. Now, this is what happened to Carl. He's in that exact situation. I was just talking to him the other day. Nice guy. He's a retired police officer in Texas. He managed to put both of his kids through college. His wife was ill and she couldn't work anymore. He was fortunate that he actually had a pension that paid him half of his salary. So he was getting basically $40,000 a year. Okay? A lot of people don't have pensions these days. He managed to save over the years $250,000. And he was always checking the latest business and financial situations and opportunities, trying for ways to grow his money. Okay? Of the dozen of things he invested in, only 2 actually made money. 4 were neutral or didn't make anything at all. His remaining investments, they lost money. Now at 65, he's living on half his earlier salary with only $125,000 left in his retirement funds. And he was forced to go back to work as a police officer for the local school district. Only now, after 20 years on the job, working the streets, his legs aren't quite the same as they were when he was in his 30s. And it's a real effort for him just to get to work. He dreaded every day. You could hear it in his voice when I was talking to him. And he was just hoping that, he could physically make it in the 70. He questioned that every morning. His retirement dream of traveling the world was long gone. A new reality was quickly setting in. There was a much better than a 50-50 chance that he's going to have to move in with at least one of his kids at some point. Both he and his wife Claire knew that had to happen. It's not what they ever contemplated, though. I offered to let him, start in with my short window retirement planning program. I was pretty certain that we could help him turn things around and retire with all the cash flow we actually needed. And he and Claire could do the traveling they want to do. And we can do that probably in just 3 to 5 years. The program would have kept nearly all of his money out of the market. Okay. So the next time they had a market crash, it would have had little to no effect on him at all. Now, sadly to say, he just felt dejected by his circumstances and was frozen with fear, the fear of losing his remaining retirement funds. That decision, however, removed his last best alternative. He's got nowhere else to go right now, other than to move in with one of his kids. It's not what somebody really wants to do when they're 70. Now, short window retirement planning was his last best chance to save his retirement. Now, I can help a lot of people. However, I can't help everyone, and I don't twist arms. Now, I'm Dr. Fred Rouse. I'm the Real Money Doctor. My only goal is to help you get, protect, and enjoy your money, your life, and your retirement. If you want me to help you do just that, to put you back in control of the rest of your life, back in control of your time and your money, so that you can give yourself the option to retire the next 3 to 5 years with the cash flow that you'll actually need to maintain the lifestyle that you want and do the big things that you want to do in your life without ever having to worry about the money again. Go to my site, drrousenow.com. Take a peek at the video. See if I can help you get your ultimate secure retirement. The one you actually once dreamed of. For now, I appreciate spending some time with you. I look forward to spending some more time with you tomorrow around 7 o'clock or so. Thank you.